Hey guys, welcome back. This is the lecture number 81 from our bootcamp series. In the last lecture, we managed our resources inside the admin panel. In this lecture, we're gonna add Kaminari gem for adding pagination to our resources inside the admin panel. Okay, so first let's understand why we need pagination in our application. Okay, so let me open the admin dashboard first. So here you can see that I am at the admin dashboard. Okay, and we added resources here, and we added students, courses, projects, and blogs inside the admin namespace. Okay, now let's click on the students index page. Okay, so here you can see that I have so many student records. Okay, since the application is in development and there are only 20-30 records, but I have to scroll through the page to see all the students. Okay, but when you have too much records, like let's say you have hundreds of students records or thousands of records, then scrolling the page at a very long level is not an efficient solution. Okay, in that case you might want to decide that how many maximum number of records you want to see at one time. Okay, so in that case you can add pagination, and pagination is almost necessary requirement for all the application, especially for the admin panels in your application or for admin backend. Okay, because there you can specify, let's say you want to see 10 records at one time, or 10 records at every page, or 25 records at every page. Okay, and in that case pagination can help you. Okay, so that's why we will add pagination through Kaminari gem in this lecture. Okay, so let's start with the adding Kaminari gem in our application. So for adding Kaminari gem, you need to first go to the google.com and search for the Kaminari gem. Okay, and in the Kaminari gem you can find, and the Kaminari gem is a scope based engine. Okay, which take your active records, okay, active record objects, and apply pagination on them. Okay, and you have to define how many records you want at one time in your active record model. Okay, so just open the Kaminari gem repository and go through the entire doc. Okay, here you can study what is Kaminari and how this engine works, and how it works with ORM, and what are the supportable versions and all that. Okay, so here you can see that the minimum supportable version for Kaminari gem is Ruby 2.1 to 3.2. Okay, and Rails, it is applicable for Rails 4.1 to 7.1. Okay, since our application is in Rails 6, so we can easily add that. Okay, and this is the way, this is how you can install your Kaminari gem in your application. Okay, so first copy this gem Kaminari and add this gem to your gem file. Okay, and with this gem we will also see how to add gems in our application. Okay, so now let's open your project folder, and in the project folder go to the gem file. Okay, and you can see that we have not added any specific gem here so far, except faker. We added faker gem for generating dummy data. So now let's add the Kaminari gem. Okay, make a line break here and run the bundle install. Okay, so open a new terminal instance and run bundle install. So here you can see that bundle install added the Kaminari gem for Kaminari core, action view, active record, and action view in my application. Okay, so now what we need to do next? Then go to the gem documents first. Okay, so we added gem into our gem file and we run the bundle install to log the gem in our application. Now you can see that how it works. So it requires a page scope for identifying that how many records you need for one page, or one page at a time. Okay, now in your application you need to define first, let's see, here you can see paginates per 50. Okay, it means that you can define whatever number of records you want to display per page in your active record model. Okay, since we are working with for student model here in this lecture, so we will add this paginets per method inside the students model, where we can decide how many records we want to display. So let's copy this line paginets per, and we will add this paginet per into student model. So now let's open your students model, and into the students model at top of the file, right after the student model definition. You can paste it here. And since we do not have 50 records, so we can save this for, let's say, 10 records, okay, per page. Okay, and it totally depends upon your needs that how many records you want to display on a page. And I am adding 10 records per page here. Okay, now we saved it. Then you can also define max records at per page. Okay, so this is how you can do max paginets per. So it will display maximum of 100 records at one page. Okay, now what we need to do, that we need to accept the page params in our admin students controller. Okay, so we need to do this like dot page params page. Okay, now open the students controller inside the admin namespace. Go to the controllers and open the admin directory, and here you can see the students controller. Here what you need to do, dot page and define params page here. Okay. This params page is the number of the page. Like you have 10 pages, then if you want to view the records at the page number 5, then this params page is the number of the page. Okay, and then it the page method will work with the Kaminari pagination. Okay, now we saved it, and let's see what we need to do as the next step. Here you need to copy paginate at the rate users. Okay, this is a helper method. Okay, that will render all the paginated records into your index file. Okay, so just copy that at the rate paginate users. And now where you need to paste this, you need to paste this into the index file. Why? Because we display all the records or all the entries at the index level. Okay, so go to the app views admin directory. Okay, and into the admin directory, let's open the students directory, and into the students open the index.html, and here outside the table you can define your pagination. Just to replace this users by at the rate students. Okay, now save this and refresh your students index page at the browser. Since we just installed a gem, so let's first shut down your server and restart the server. And just keep this thing in mind that whenever you add a new gem in your rails application, uh, sometime it works and sometime it not works. So for the safe side, whenever you add a new gem in your application, just restart your server and that will work perfectly. Okay, so now open the students index page inside the admin panel, and you can refresh the page. And when we refresh here, we can see that the page numbers are here. Now we can see 10 records per page. Okay, now we are on the first page now, and if you click on the two, okay, here you can see that in the browser we are getting page params and the number is 2, and now we are at the second page of the student list. Okay, and now when you click on the 3, you can see that we have 3 records at the third page. So it means we have total of 20 records, 23 records. Okay, so first and second page have 10 records each, and the third page have last 3 records. Okay, and here you can see you also have previous and first button. So when you click on the first button, you will redirect to on the first page, and when you click on the last, then you will be redirect on the last page. So and when you click on the previous, then you will be redirected on the previous page of the current page, and with the next link you will be redirect on the next page of the current page. Okay, now since we added a bootstrap theme, so this seems very ugly, so we need to generate Kaminari views. Okay, and where we will add bootstrap classes for these buttons or these navigation page navigation buttons. Okay, since we will generate the bootstrap views, so we do not have to generate we do not have to customize these classes manually. Okay, we can simply generate the Kaminari views. Okay, so now let's see how we can generate the Kaminari views. Okay, we will find this in below in the documentation. Okay, You can just explore the entire guide, okay, and then you will be get more better. Like you can see that link to next page helper and link to next page with the items, and you can define the controller actions as well. Okay, so now let's find us that how we can generate the pagination views. Okay, let's see this rails g Kaminari views. Okay, so we will generate this for bootstrap 4. Why? Because our admin theme is in bootstrap 4. So let's open the new terminal tab and paste this line here, and here we will add bootstrap 4. Okay, and this will generate the bootstrap 4 Kaminari views for our application. Okay, and now when you refresh your students index page in the admin side, you can see that we have bootstrap styled button now. Like we are at the first page and it's showing 1 2 3 next and last. When you click on the last, it will show you first, previous, and 1 2 3. Okay, so that's all about the Kaminari gem, and this is how we can add Kaminari gem into our application. So since we did this only for students resource, you can do the same thing for courses, projects, and blogs resource as well. Okay, so just try to implement this gem at your own end, and just we did for the like we did for the student resource, just try to do the same thing for courses, projects, and blogs resources. Okay, and I would also recommend you to go through the entire doc, because Kaminari also provides some customization as well. So when you go through the entire documentation, then you will see how it can works, or how much you can explore this gem and how much you can extend this gem as per your needs. Okay, so that's all about Kaminari gem and pagination in this lecture. In the next lecture, we will discuss about the alternatives of the Kaminari gem. However, we will not add them into our course project, but we will definitely discuss the alternatives of the Kaminari gem. Okay, and then you can try them at your own. Okay, and first thing, try this Kaminari gem or pagination for students, sorry, courses, projects, and blogs resources. Okay, and if you have added other resources, then try it for those resources too. Very simple step. First, add the Kaminari gem into your gem file, then define this paginates per method inside your active record model for which you want to use the pagination, and you can decide the number of records per page according to your needs. Okay, and then the next step will be this: you need to invoke all the params, page params, into your index section, and then you need to call this paginate helper with your active record collection object, so that it will add pagination into your gem file, pagination into your application. Okay, so let's try this at your end, and let me know if you stuck anywhere, or if you have any difficulties with the Kaminari gem. I will be happy to help you through the comment section. So let's meet into the next lecture. Till then, tata, goodbye, take care, and stay safe.